We've been taught that fighting back means engaging in direct confrontation, proving ourselves with words or striking first. But that's not how the truly powerful operate. The most effective takedowns don't come from loud battles. They come from strategic silence. If you want to dismantle your enemies without lifting a finger, you need to understand these 7 silent but deadly principles. Your enemy expects a reaction. They want you emotional, irrational, and distracted. The moment you stop giving them that, they lose control. Silence forces them to question themselves. It drives them into paranoia. When you refuse to engage, they start fighting ghosts in their own head. People who work against you are often consumed by their own hatred. They make it their mission to see you fail. But here's the secret. The more obsessed they are with you, the more they self-destruct. Your job is to keep moving forward while they waste their energy watching you. Enemies crave significance. They want to feel like they matter in your life. By ignoring them, you take that away. You make them irrelevant. And for some people, that is the ultimate defeat. Success is the best revenge, not because it makes you look good, but because it forces your enemies to confront their own inadequacy. Let their doubt, their insults, their sabotage be the fire that propels you forward. The more they try to stop you, the higher you rise. The people who move with anger and jealousy always run out of energy first. They burn hot, but they burn out fast. You stay steady. You let time do its job. In the end, they will either destroy themselves or fade into irrelevance. Nothing unsettles an enemy more than unpredictability. When they think they have you figured out, change direction. When they expect you to retaliate, stay quiet. When they assume you'll fall apart, rebuild stronger. Keep them guessing, and you'll always stay ahead. The final and most powerful move? Win. Not with words, not with retaliation, but with undeniable results. When you build something unshakable, when you create a life so strong that no enemy can touch it, that's when you truly take them down. This isn't about revenge, it's about power. The kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that operates in silence and lets results do the talking. If you focus on your own path, your enemies will inevitably collapse under the weight of their own bitterness. You don't need to fight them, you just need to make sure they can't reach you. In a world that rewards noise, silence is an underrated weapon. We live in an age where people broadcast their every move, seeking validation before they've even made progress. Social media conversations and even casual interactions have turned into stages for announcing intentions before they are fully formed. But here's the truth. Those who truly influence the world, those who make the most significant impact, operate in silence. Think about the greatest strategists, leaders, and innovators throughout history. They didn't announce their plans to the world. They didn't seek approval or applause before executing their ideas. Instead, they moved with precision, allowing their results to speak for them. The less you announce, the more unpredictable you become. And unpredictability is power. Most people equate silence with passivity. They assume that if someone isn't responding, reacting, or making noise, they must be weak or disengaged. But the opposite is true. Silence is not the absence of action. It is the refinement of it. When you operate in silence, you remove distractions. You focus on execution rather than validation. Silence also gives you the advantage of observation. When you're not busy explaining yourself, you can listen. You can analyze the moves of others. You can see their weaknesses, their patterns, and their expectations. And when people don't know what you're thinking or planning, they can't prepare for you. That is why the most powerful individuals never reveal their entire strategy. They let others guess, which keeps them in control. When you tell people your plans too soon, you invite opinions, criticism, and resistance. Even well-meaning people can plant doubt in your mind. Are you sure that's the right path? What if it doesn't work? I heard someone else tried that and failed. Every time you share your intentions, you give others an opportunity to undermine your confidence. Beyond that, announcing your moves can make you a target. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Some will actively try to block your progress. If they know your strategy, they can anticipate and counteract it. But If they are left in the dark, they are powerless against you. Words don't build legacies, actions do. The most successful people in any field understand that results speak louder than promises. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do. It's much harder to actually do it. A silent approach allows you to focus on execution. You don't waste time explaining your vision. You spend time making it a reality. And when the results show up, they carry more weight than any words ever could. No one doubts a person who delivers. No one questions the credibility of someone whose actions prove their worth. There's a psychological power in saying less. When you don't react, people start second-guessing themselves. They wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, and why you're not responding the way they expected. This uncertainty makes them uncomfortable. It shifts the power dynamic in your favor. Silence also forces people to fill in the gaps. When you don't explain yourself, they create their own narratives. And often those narratives give you even more power than you could have claimed for yourself. They assume you know more than you do. They believe you are more confident, more strategic, more dangerous than you might actually be. That's the power of perception. Move in silence, but work relentlessly. Just because no one sees your progress doesn't mean you aren't making any. Let your work accumulate behind the scenes until the results become undeniable. Speak only when necessary. Not every battle requires your voice. Not every situation demands an explanation. Reserve your words for when they carry the most weight. Let your success be your response. Instead of arguing, debating, or proving yourself with words, let your results do the talking. The loudest statement you can make is undeniable achievement. Observe more than you speak. Knowledge is power, and the more you listen, the more you learn. Understanding the game gives you an edge over those who blindly rush in. Never reveal your full strategy. Keep people guessing. When they don't know your next move, they can't prepare for it. This keeps you in control. At the end of the day, the most powerful moves aren't the ones that make headlines. They're the ones that change the game without warning. The less you announce, the more unpredictable you become. The more you focus on execution over validation, the stronger you grow. So stop explaining, stop seeking approval, stop giving away your power with unnecessary words, move in silence, build in the shadows, and let the world feel the impact when it's too late to stop you. Because those who master the art of silent success don't just win, they dominate. We often think of defeating an enemy as an act of direct confrontation, winning an argument, proving them wrong, or taking revenge. But the most powerful way to dismantle an enemy isn't through retaliation, it's through transformation. When you grow beyond their reach, when you evolve into someone they can no longer affect, that is the ultimate victory. Growth isn't just about personal development, it's about rendering your enemies irrelevant. People who oppose you thrive on your weaknesses, your insecurities, and your need for validation. They count on you reacting emotionally. They expect you to stay stuck in the same place, repeating the same patterns. But when you rise above, when you outgrow their influence, you strip them of their power. An enemy wants to see you fail. They want to keep you small because your progress threatens them. If you remain stagnant, they can continue to define you. They can keep you in a box under their control. But the moment you begin to grow mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, you become a version of yourself they can no longer reach. Imagine someone who doubted you, someone who said you'd never succeed. If you engage with them, arguing, defending yourself, trying to prove them wrong with words, you're still operating on their level. You're still in the same game they created. But if you quietly focus on growth, mastering your craft, building your success, strengthening your mindset, you remove yourself from the game entirely. And when they finally look up, they realize you've outpaced them. The people who wish you harm are counting on your weaknesses. They feed off your reactions, your doubts, your insecurities. The more you engage with them, the more fuel you give them. But growth is a process of strengthening yourself to the point where their presence, their words, their actions no longer affect you. Your enemy's greatest fear isn't that you'll fight back, it's that you'll grow beyond them. That one day you'll look at them and feel nothing, no anger, no resentment, no desire for revenge, just indifference. Because at that point, they no longer matter. People who try to bring you down operate in noise. They gossip, they criticize, they look for ways to pull you into drama. But when you focus on growth, you start moving in silence. You become so dedicated to building yourself that their noise fades into the background. And that silence, that absence of reaction, it destroys them. It forces them to sit with their own bitterness. When they realize they no longer have access to you, when they see you excelling without ever acknowledging them, it eats away at them more than any words ever could. At a certain level of success, your enemies disappear, not because they've changed, but because you've changed. The higher you climb, the smaller they seem. The same people who once made you doubt yourself now look insignificant in the rearview mirror. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do they spend time arguing with critics? Do they waste energy proving themselves to doubters? No, they are too busy building, creating, and growing. That's why they win. Invest in yourself. Read, learn, train. Develop skills that make you so valuable that no enemy can diminish your worth. Stay focused. Distractions are traps. The more attention you give your enemies, the less energy you have for your own goals. Master emotional control. Your enemy wants a reaction, don't give them one. The more stable you remain, the weaker they become. Surround yourself with winners, elevate your circle. When you spend time with people focused on growth, you stop thinking about those stuck in negativity. Let success be the final word. No explanation, no arguments, no revenge. Just results. The moment you realize that your energy is better spent on growth than on conflict, you become untouchable. You stop playing by their rules. You stop engaging in battles that don't serve you. And one day, when you've outgrown everything they tried to keep you trapped in, you'll look back and realize they never really had power over you. You just had to grow enough to see it. Your enemies don't just oppose you. They feed off you. They need your reactions, your frustration, your attention. Without it, they have nothing. Every time you respond to their negativity, every time you allow them to occupy space in your mind, you're giving them exactly what they want. The most powerful thing you can do is deny them that fuel. When you refuse to engage, when you stop feeding them your energy, they wither. Enemies thrive on your emotions. Whether it's anger, resentment, or the need to prove yourself, they want to see you react. They want to feel like they have control over your state of mind. But the moment you take that control back, the moment you decide that their words and actions don't deserve your energy, you strip them of their power. Energy is more than just physical stamina. It's your focus, your emotional state, your time, and your mental clarity. Where you place your energy determines the quality of your life. If you waste it on pointless battles, you have less to invest in your goals, your growth, and your success. Enemies are like parasites. They attach themselves to your mind and drain your energy. They don't just want to hurt you. They want to distract you. They want to pull you away from your purpose and keep you locked in a cycle of reaction. The only way to win is to cut off their supply. People expect a response. They expect anger, a counterattack, or at the very least an explanation. When you refuse to give them any of that, they don't know what to do. They become frustrated. They start questioning themselves. And in many cases, they self-destruct. Imagine someone trying to argue with you, insulting you, or trying to provoke you. If you engage, you validate them. You show them that they have the ability to affect you. But if you remain calm, if you walk away, ignore them, or simply refuse to acknowledge their presence, you rob them of their power. There's nothing more infuriating to someone who seeks control than realizing they have none. Some people believe that silence is weakness, that if you don't respond, you're allowing them to win. But silence is a strategy. It is an intentional act of control. When you refuse to engage, you are sending a message. This is psychological warfare at its finest, because the less you react, the more they start to doubt themselves. They wanted a fight, but you gave them nothing. And that nothingness is deafening. Think about how much mental energy you waste thinking about the people who wronged you. How often do you replay conversations, dwell on betrayals, or fantasize about getting even? Now, ask yourself, what if you redirected that energy into something productive? Every moment spent thinking about an enemy is a moment stolen from your own success. They don't deserve that. Let them talk. Let them scheme. Let them try. And while they do, you keep building, keep growing, keep winning. Detach emotionally. They win when you feel. The less emotional attachment you have to their actions, the weaker they become. Be unpredictable. They expect you to engage. Surprise them by not playing the game. Redirect your focus. Invest your time and energy into what matters, your goals, your peace, and your future. Control your reactions. Master the ability to remain calm under pressure. When they see that their efforts have no effect, they lose motivation. Cut off access. Distance yourself. Block them. Ignore them. Remove their presence from your world. Let time work against them. The more they fight for your attention and get nothing in return, the more they waste their own energy. The greatest defeat you can deliver to an enemy isn't revenge. It's irrelevance. It's making them realize that no matter what they do, they cannot affect you, that they don't matter. So starve them. Let them crave your attention and never receive it. Let them throw insults into the void. Let them exhaust themselves trying to bring you down while you rise. Because in the end, the person controls their energy, controls the game. And when you master that, you become untouchable. The downfall of most people isn't caused by external forces. It comes from within. Their flaws, their arrogance, their lack of discipline, these are the cracks that eventually break them. And the most strategic way to take down an enemy isn't through direct confrontation. It's by letting them be their own worst enemy. You don't have to attack. You don't have to prove anything. You simply have to observe, stay steady, and allow them to collapse under the weight of their own shortcomings. Because the truth is, people who are driven by ego, greed, or insecurity will always self-destruct. It's just a matter of time. Every person carries weaknesses, but not everyone is aware of them. The most dangerous individuals aren't the ones who acknowledge their flaws and work to improve. They're the ones who deny them. These are the people who refuse to change, who repeat the same mistakes, and who let their ego blind them to reality. Your job is not to fight them. Your job is to let their nature do the work for you. Because the more they try to exert power, the more they expose their own weaknesses. And once they do, their fall is inevitable. Ego makes them overconfident. When someone believes they are untouchable, they stop being careful. They take unnecessary risks. They underestimate others, and they make mistakes. And those mistakes pile up until they become impossible to ignore. Lack of discipline leads to failure. People who lack discipline will always sabotage themselves. They might experience short-term success, but eventually their inability to stay consistent, focused, and controlled will catch up to them. Greed blinds them. Greedy people always want more, and that desire makes them reckless. They push too far, take what isn't theirs, and make enemies along the way. Eventually, their greed creates the trap that destroys them. Insecurity makes them paranoid. When someone is insecure, they spend more time trying to control others than controlling themselves. They react emotionally, lash out, and create unnecessary conflicts. And in the end, they exhaust themselves fighting battles that didn't need to exist. Impatience leads to mistakes. Some people can't wait. They rush ahead, trying to force success or control situations they don't fully understand. And because they lack patience, they make errors that cost them everything. The secret to leveraging someone's weaknesses is to remain steady while they spiral out of control. You don't engage in their chaos. You don't try to fix them. You don't even warn them. You simply watch as they create the conditions for their own downfall. Stay silent while they talk too much. Arrogant people expose themselves with their words. The more they speak, the more they reveal their weaknesses. Let them dig their own graves. Stay calm while they react emotionally. When people are controlled by emotions, they make reckless decisions. If you remain steady, they will eventually make a mistake that you can use to your advantage. Stay focused while they get distracted. Weak-minded people chase attention, validation, and short-term pleasure. You, on the other hand, stay disciplined, and in the long run, discipline always wins. Stay patient while they rush. Desperate people act without thinking. They make moves too soon, expose their plans, and end up losing everything. If you wait long enough, they will create the perfect opportunity for you. The greatest warriors, strategists, and leaders throughout history understood this principle. You don't always have to strike first to win. In fact, the most powerful victories often come without a fight at all. Think about it. If someone is already on the path to self-destruction, why intervene? Why waste your energy trying to push them when gravity is already pulling them down? Your only job is to be steady, to be disciplined, to be patient. Because if you hold your ground while they trip over their own flaws, victory becomes effortless. Ultimate flex is knowing that you don't have to do anything to defeat someone. You don't have to argue. You don't have to attack. You don't have to seek revenge. All you have to do is stay focused, stay strong, and watch as they become the architects of their own downfall. Because when a person refuses to acknowledge their weaknesses, those weaknesses will eventually consume them. So step back, observe, let time do the work. And when they finally collapse under their own weight, you'll be exactly where you need to be, standing strong, untouched, and victorious. There is no greater revenge than undeniable success. No argument, no insult, no act of retaliation can ever match the power of achievement. When your enemies see you rise, despite their efforts to stop you, it crushes them in ways that words never could. People who work against you want to see you fail. They want to believe that their negativity has an impact. They thrive on the idea that they can shake you, that they can hold you back. But the moment you stop engaging with their noise and focus entirely on your results, you render them powerless. The reason success hurts your enemies so much is simple. It forces them to confront their own insignificance. They spent their time trying to bring you down while you spent yours building something greater. And now they have to live with the realization that none of their efforts mattered. It proves them wrong without a word. When someone doubts you, they expect you to argue. They want you to fight back, to waste energy explaining yourself. But when you simply succeed, your results speak for you. They are undeniable. It leaves them feeling helpless. If someone insults you and you respond, they know they got under your skin. If someone tries to sabotage you and you retaliate, you're playing their game. But if you act like they don't exist and keep growing, that's a power they can't match. It forces them to reflect on their own failures. The more you rise, the more your enemies are forced to confront the fact that they stayed stagnant. While they were focused on tearing you down, you were busy climbing. That realization eats away at them. There is a psychological element to winning that goes beyond just achievement. It's about the absence of validation you give your enemies. People expect conflict. They expect reactions. They expect a back and forth battle where both sides take damage. But when you don't even acknowledge the fight, when you simply keep growing and winning, it frustrates them beyond belief. If you truly want to dominate, if you truly want to leave your enemies in the dust, then focus on results. Here's how you do it. Master your craft, whether it's business, fitness, art, or personal growth, becomes so good that they can't ignore you. Make undeniable progress. Stay silent, let them talk, let them gossip, let them try, but give them nothing in return. No responses, no arguments, just results. Surround yourself with winners, elevate your circle. Be around people who inspire growth, not drama. The higher your circle, the less you'll even notice negativity. Turn pain into fuel. Instead of letting hate bring you down, use it as motivation. Every doubt, every insult, every betrayal should push you harder. Stay consistent. Success isn't about quick wins. It's about proving over time that you are untouchable. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep going. At some point, your results will speak so loudly that your enemies will have no choice but to admit defeat. Maybe not openly, maybe not in words, but deep down, they will know. And that's the real victory, because while they were focused on you, you were focused on your future. And now the gap between you and them is too wide to ever be closed. True winners don't look back. They don't dwell on the people who tried to hold them down. They don't waste energy on the past. They keep moving forward, breaking limits and proving, without a word, that they were never meant to be stopped. So let your results be the final blow. Let your success be the response. And when your enemies finally realize that nothing they did could shake you, they will understand what true power really looks like. In the end, the most powerful way to take down your enemies isn't through anger, revenge, or confrontation. It's through discipline, patience, and focus. The loudest moves are made in silence. Your growth is their defeat. By starving them of your energy and allowing their own weaknesses to destroy them, you remove their power. Play the long game. Let time do the work. While they get distracted by petty battles, you stay steady, moving with purpose. And when the dust settles, when they look up and realize they never mattered to your success, that's when you truly win. Let your results be the final blow. Let your success speak so loudly that it drowns out every doubt, every insult, every attempt to bring you down. Because at the end of the day, true power isn't about proving yourself to others. It's about becoming so strong that you don't have to. Thank you. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep winning.